Okay, I'm stupid. I'm done. Alright, we're here to have a discussion. Now, I'm just shooting the breeze. You know, these type of videos, I'm shooting the breeze. I'm just getting loose to talk my little attitude, little rude. You know what I'm saying? So, we here to talk about the whole little situation with, sorry about that. The whole little situation with basically, you know, if you've seen the Joe Budden podcast or the Patreon exclusive episode with them sitting down with Adam 22, and we're here to talk about it because basically through the clips, or if you sat down and watched the whole interview, go check it out. It's on Joe Budden podcast channel, or his TV. I don't fucking know. The Joe Budden channel, wherever the podcast get released from. I'll be mostly on Spotify with this shit, but I had to watch this shit because the clips was coming out. But with that being said, with that happening, right? A lot of people, there's been a lot of discourse. You know, Adam's been getting some flack. They try to paint Adam as a demon because he basically profits in death, if you will. That was the terms being used. The profits in death and stuff like that, and they're building a case towards him, like, why do you do this? And it brings back similar conversation. Remember back again on Everyday Struggle when the whole Vic Mensa situation happened with the DJ Academics thing, and it came out like, yeah, you've been doing that Warren Chirac shit, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that little satire shit wasn't funny. Like, you covering them niggas, you not even being from over there. Like, yo, you profiting off that, because if them niggas gonna get into beefs, you comment on it. Now, again, I do fuck with that, but I get it to a certain extent. I could understand if that was my family member and Academics was doing some satirical shit in the video and the motherfuckers getting mad. I understand that. Like, bro, we all human. Like, bro, you have a bond, a connection to your friend, and Academics in there being satirical is what it is. Also, you could bring up the case that you grew up in them impoverished environments to the point in certain situations you gotta do what you gotta do. Me being a person, I always say everybody got their own definition of good and bad, and certain things you might characterize as good or bad, they might not, and put it in the other category, like I always say. So I could understand that, and nigga, you know, you ain't really got that much options, and you gotta do what you gotta do to live. I understand you might do some things that typically you ain't super duper proud of. It's just what it is in this life, you know. Yeah, you dealt certain deck of cards and you just gotta make that shit shake. But with that being said, them trying to demonize Adam for posting that, it is what it is. Like, and that's where I have an issue with it. First of all, I get it. Look, I'm not saying it's right what Adam does. You know, and like niggas do that. Like I've seen the Breakfast Club do some shit like that when an artist pass. If they have an old interview by them, they just throw it up like, oh, classic interview from such and such. They passed away. They just put it on the channel. Sure, they might not clip it, but they still bring it up. You know, it is what it is. Various other channels or media outlets or blogs, myself included, when an artist passes away, what do? We make a video like, oh, this artist passed away. This is what happened. Blah, 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 blah. We read the report. Blah, da, 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 da. Now, a lot of them saying in their video that it's like, oh, you should not monetize you discussing the person that passes away. It is what it is. I understand that sentiment. But at the same time, when Adam's like, yo, it's a news. Like, I literally go on my shit and I report the news or we talk about it on the podcast. It's like fair. Especially if I fuck with a certain artist and I hear they passed away. It's like, yeah, I'll fuck with that artist. I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna tell you this is the songs I like from that nigga. This shit hurt my heart. I really listened to this nigga, so I'm sad he passed away. Like I always be saying, man, I fuck with Nipsey. I'm sad that nigga passed away. I always say that to this day. So it just gets to that point where I guess you gotta find a balance. I'm not saying it's proper or it's ethical, but at the same time, and sure, maybe the Joe Budden podcast doesn't go into that much depth. Y'all still talk about it in certain situations. You might not go into too much depth on this. Depth. You might not go into too much like information about the situation, but y'all still talk about it in bits and pieces. Sure, Adam and maybe at the time DJ Academics, when he was doing the Warren Chirac thing, would go deeper into the conversation, but still, doesn't two rights don't make a wrong, and sometimes two things can happen and it could be normalized, if you understand what I'm saying. See, it's not even the fact that Adam is wrong for that. Why do us as a public like that shit? Why does hip hop in general or hip hop fans like it comes for the streets? So if we listen to hip hop And these rappers talking their shit and they real street niggas, and we want the realness to come back to the point where, let's just say they do pass away off of some street violence. Why is it then you would demonize the outlet for putting out the story? Because if that is the case, that's what we want. You're trying to get clicks, you're trying to build a business. Yes, and let's face it, the business game is shiesty as fuck. Let's keep it a buck. But see, I rather like a nigga know he's on some fuck shit. At least if you know you on some fuck shit, it doesn't make it better, but at least we know what it is. With that being said, I feel like they was just trying to demonize him. Because if it's not Adam 22 and it's not DJ Academics when he was on the Warren Chirac, it would be someone fucking else doing this shit that you would be having the conversation with. It doesn't have to be Adam 22 per se for them to have this discussion with. They could have had this with anybody. Shit, Vlad, when you know Joe and Vlad got some issues. But with that being said, it could have been that. Now, as for the white people profiting off black people trauma, bro, this shit ain't happening. That's just a whole nother societal thing. Like, that doesn't even start with Adam. That just starts on a whole larger scale. Just the white man or people fucking getting monetary gain off a culture that's not theirs. That's a whole nother discussion we could have. That just doesn't. That's not even black trauma. That's just black culture in general. That's a whole different conversation. But with that, not even a whole different, but that's a bigger conversation to be had. And even with that being said, this conversation benefits both of them. To be fair, motherfuckers gonna check out Adam shit. Motherfuckers gonna go damn sure want to go watch that fucking Joe Budden podcast. And I thought Adam defended himself very fucking well. I don't have a horse in this race, but all I could see is this is a more fucking. There's more to this discussion. Like, it's the system in general. It's the government for putting niggas in these impoverished neighborhoods. And not even niggas that's black people, but just people in these impoverished neighborhoods that they gotta do what they gotta do to survive. These is real street motherfuckers who try out music, find out they good at it, they rappers now, and then they, they in this thing, but they kind of got one foot in the streets, and they get caught up and they sadly pass away. I always say in my videos, if you're not part of my channel, every time I always be in my videos, right? Don't ask me why I carry a gun, because motherfuckers be killing the artists. I always say, what are these guys? Yes, they're musicians, but they also got their beefs. They gangster rappers. So you expecting the musician not to have a gun is redundant, because he does not want to die today. So why would he walk around without his pole, his protection? Motherfuckers pray till they gun. Motherfuckers pray till they gun more. They pray that they gun don't jam more than they pray to the Most High. And some niggas don't even believe in that shit. So is we really gonna sit here and be hypocritical that if it is what it is? And also, like, bro, you grew up in these impoverished neighborhoods. You already have a chip on your shoulder. You want to keep your fire with you. It don't matter if you got security or not. You still might just feel safe with your fire on. And yeah, it's just a bigger conversation in my opinion. I didn't want them demonizing Adam because, let's face it, a lot of niggas do it. Sure, you could say Adam's the most popular, if you will, but more niggas do it. And it is what it is. Sure, that's great. Y'all can have the conversation with Fredo Bang and not mention NBA Youngboy. We all know about it. We all know about it, and it is what it is. I don't, to be honest, have hatred for Adam for if you will talk to an FBG Cash and ask him, yo, what's going on with you and Durf when it's in his songs. I get it. I'm not mad at you interviewing this nigga and then you gonna interview his op. I get it. Like, it's not wild. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna interview these artists regardless. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Now, at the end of the day, it might be different in LA because LA is just gangland. That's something else. But it is what it is. Now, if you are grown more and you don't like talking about that shit, that's cool. But you can't blame the young cat that's going to do it. Because if it's not Adam 22 and it's not DJ Academics, it's going to be somebody. A Chicago Scene 88, if you will. Or somebody's going to talk about it. It is what it is. For that little interruption, like I was saying, yeah. Basically, bro, I even forgot what I was saying. But nah, the point of it is, bro, it's not only Adam. Other niggas would do it. And it's just redundant. I think one of the things what Ish was saying was like, these men should not take accountability, or like these niggas is dumb. Not that they're dumb, and I get what he was saying, but at the same time it's like, nigga, you grown. Like, you know what I'm saying? if certain niggas can go in an interview with Vlad and not expose themselves, and if you ask the nigga and he answered, bro, the nigga gave it to you, bro. Bro, it is what it is. You got him. That's why interviewers, they try to word some shit in some different ways. You know, so you could catch a motherfucker off guard and you go and get a great interview off it. If you can catch him. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying Ish is wrong for saying this shit. But at the same time, it's like y'all trying to depict this man as a white devil. He's not a fucking white devil. Let's keep it a buck. You know, he's not. He's just a nigga and he does what he does. He likes the hip hop game and he covers the hip hop and he mostly listens to drill music and he talks about it. It is what it is. I'm not mad at him for doing that. But with that being said, yes. Should there be some changes to how people cover this shit? Yeah, of course. We can have that conversation and we can improve. But is it only him, number one? No. Yeah, sure, y'all don't talk about Fredo Bang and NBA Youngboy beef. That's great. Y'all want to pat yourself on the back. That's cool. Other niggas gonna talk about it. Like you said, you'll go to act, act such and such niggas answer it is what it is. Is that nigga dumb because academics asked him the question and he like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna answer it? He answered it, so y'all just chose not to ask. It was what it was. Every nigga is different. Every platform, every media personality, every way a nigga conducts themselves is different. So just because you hold yourself to a specific standard doesn't mean you gotta hold this other nigga to a specific standard. That's why we all got an opinion. So you seem like his shit is nasty. Fair enough. But at the same time, as a hip hop community, who these niggas are bragging, oh shit, I'ma shoot a nigga, I'ma kill a nigga, this and that and this. It's like, yeah, this is our fucking content in the music. So of course, when like the person passes away, it's not profiting off death. It was what it was, and they try to dispute whether it's the same, whether he's putting out a video or clipping an interview he did with the artist in the past compared to the the record labels playing the person's music and putting it on radio and trying to blow it up or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that is shit. Could be a conversation in its damn self. Do I feel like Adam's wrong, or there could be changes? Yes. Do I feel like he's scum? No. Them trying to demonize him as a white devil. He's not a fucking white devil. Just because y'all don't want to do that, it is what it is. And some niggas just think differently, bro. Some niggas just assume certain shit is a big deal, a bigger deal compared to others. Like, bro, niggas is different, bro. Not every nigga think the same. At the end of the day, if that's what we're really talking. But yeah, and like I said, nigga, the bigger conversation is society. Like, society, because this is how we're like, because it's normalized in society. That's the fucking bigger conversation. And like, as the fans, we want to know this information. So if it's not Adam, someone else is going to do it. Then you're going to sit down and talk to that motherfucker too, and the next motherfucker going to do it. It is what it is at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's a non-ending cycle and we shouldn't try to improve. Not saying that at all. But at the same time, it's like, bro, certain shit, it just is what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, man. Hey, I said my piece on this situation. What do you feel? Honestly, bro, two things could be not even right, but two things can exist, and it's like some shit, like I always say, some shit is meant to understand, and some shit is just meant to be understood. Like, this shit is just meant to be understood, and niggas just gonna do that shit. It is what it is. But anyways, man, I said my piece on this shit. What do you feel about it? Put your comments down below. Check out the links in the description. I got some other videos for y'all to check out. Who do you think is right? You feel like, what's it called? One nigga is right more than the other? Or you just feel like, hey, bro, honestly, y'all have a point. He has a point. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What do y'all feel? But anyways, it's your friendly neighborhood K.A. signing out for today. The Black TJ Dead Wilder doing his thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like and subscribe if you want to hit a little bit more on them. Gone. Shalom, zoom, peace, shout out, guys. Alright.